Have you ever had your own advice thrown back in your face? You know those kinds of people. You try to help them, but they just insult you and abuse you the whole time. Join me today as we take a quick look at the Proverbs and learn that not everybody appreciates the blessings that wisdom brings. Read with me Proverbs chapter 9, verse 7 through 10. Whoever corrects a mocker invites insults. Whoever rebukes the wicked incurs abuse. Do not rebuke mockers, or they will hate you. Rebuke the wise, and they will love you. Instruct the wise, and they will be wiser still. Teach the righteous, and they will add to their learning. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. The first thing that we see in these verses is warnings about sharing wisdom. We see that in verse 7. If wisdom is so wonderful, though, as Solomon indicates in his writings, then why do we need warnings about sharing its message? Because when you share the message of wisdom with others, you will encounter 4 types of people: mockers and wicked people, and the wise and the righteous. Mockers will insult you, and the wicked will abuse you, these verses say. Not everyone welcomes and accepts the truth of what wisdom has to teach. Proverbs 15:12 says, "Mockers resent correction, so they avoid the wise." When mockers and wicked sinners are confronted with the truth that they are sinners, many times they react by becoming angry. They do not want to face the fact that they are sinners and that their sinful ways are leading them to an eternal separation from God in hell. Even the mention of God can send them into fits of rage. Even Jesus warns his disciples to be careful when and how they share wisdom's message. He said in Matthew 10:16, "I am sending you out like sheep among wolves. Therefore be as shrewd as snakes and as innocent as doves." We need to share the message of wisdom with others, but we also must be careful to share it with those who will accept it. Next, Solomon gives us instructions about sharing wisdom in verse 8 and 9. Since mockers and the wicked will turn on you for sharing wisdom with them, then we should seek to share wisdom's message with those who will accept it. Verse 8 and 9 tell us that wisdom's message will only be accepted by the righteous and by those who already possess some amount of wisdom. Have you ever heard the phrase, "It takes one to know one"? That seems to hold true for sharing wisdom with others. Mockers and the wicked will insult you, abuse you, and hate you. But the righteous and the wise will appreciate gaining more wisdom. The righteous and the wise respond positively to rebuke, instruction, and teaching. They will love you for sharing with them. They will become even more wise when you share with them. And they will add to what they have already learned when you share wisdom with them. In fact, sharing with those who already have is actually a biblical principle that Jesus taught in one of his parables. When we are faithful with the things God has entrusted to us, then we will be blessed according to that faithfulness. Jesus told a parable in Matthew 25 about 3 servants that were given the opportunity to gain more income for their master. 2 of the servants were good and faithful with what they had been given, and they earned even more for their master. But the 3rd servant was wicked and lazy. At the end of the parable, the faithful servant was given even more because of his faithful handling of the blessings. The master of the servants said in Matthew 25:29, "For whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. What makes the difference is their level of faithfulness with what they were given. Lastly, Solomon teaches us when to start sharing wisdom in verse 10. So how do you know who to share wisdom with or when to share it with them? Well, when a person has reached the point in their lives that they demonstrate the humble attitude of fear and reverence for God, then they are ready to receive more of the message of wisdom. When a person is truly hungry for more knowledge about God and they long to have a deeper relationship with God, then they are ready to receive more of the message of wisdom. Only when a person's heart and mind are ready for it can they grow in wisdom and understanding. The ironic thing about sharing wisdom is that it takes wisdom to know the right time to share wisdom. And it takes wisdom to know who will accept it and who will not.